Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm due to jump on the bike now and do a bike session, but I want to walk you through my warm-up that I do to help me get a little bit more comfortable in the aero position on the bike. So this is the typical warm-up I would do on a regular basis. It only takes 15 minutes and we're going to go through it as I would, nice and slow, so you can follow along. If you do this sort of warm-up on a regular basis, it's really going to help you get into position. It's going to help you get into those narrow, tight little spots on the bike, and it's going to help you be more comfortable in those positions. So follow along. It's only going to take about 15 minutes and it should give you some stretches and some exercises that are going to help you hold a more aggressive position on the bike. Alright, so we're going to get started now with a very simple walkout. So you're going to stand up nice and tall. Get your mat ready. And just start off by just kind of easing the tension. Stand nice and tall, open up the chest, and just take a couple of deep breaths just to sort of relax and free up a little bit of tension throughout the body. And from here, you're just going to relax into a slumped position and just really let the back stretch. Push the hips back and the knees straight and get a little bit of a stretch all down through the hamstring and the calves and through the back. And from here, we're just going to walk out across the mat, keep your legs straight until you're in a comfortable position, but you can feel just a slight stretch in the calves. And from here, you're just going to lift one foot and press gently back until the heel goes down to the floor. Now, if that's a really hard stretch and you're really feeling it, you can take a little bit of pressure off by just taking a little weight off with the other foot. But if you find that's actually quite easy and your heel's going down all the way, then just stand yourself up a little bit more and you should feel a good stretch down the back. So you just want to gently press into that. Nice relaxed breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just come out of it nice and easy, nice and gradual. Just shake it off a little bit. Come onto that other foot. Now you might feel one side's a little bit tighter than the other. My left is definitely a little bit looser than my right. So we're just keeping that back knee straight and keeping a little bit of tension throughout the calf, feeling that stretch and just easing yourself into it nice and gradually. Nice relaxed breathing. 3, 2, 1. And just come out of that and just sit down for a sec. Shake yourself off. Take a little second just to relax. And then we're going to come into all fours. We're going to bring the hip, the foot up. And we're simply going to try and press our chest down below the knee. And just sink down. So you should feel a little bit of tension on this outside hip here. And you're just trying to free that up. And as you sink down, just make slow circles with that right knee, very slow, and it just helps free up that hip. And the more mobile your hip is, the more aggressive a position you're going to be able to hold on the bike, and the more pressure you're going to be able to put through the pedals, because under tension you're going to find your ranges are a lot smaller than when you're relaxed. So we're just going to gently come out of that and bring up the left foot. So again, we're just trying to sink our chest down nice and low. Now I'm feeling a stretch on the inside of my groin here, that's fine. And I'm just going to try and come down nice and low. Just hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm just going to start making little circles. Just pushing the knee out as I come around. And really opening up that hip, staying nice and low, nice and relaxed. 3, 2, and 1. That's nice, just coming out of that nice and easy. From here, we're going to go into a back stretch. So we're just going to come down onto the ground, chest flat, hands in level with the chest. And you're simply just going to press up to the sky. Now when you come up here, keep your head neutral. There's no need to start staring at the ceiling. Just keep your head neutral and just try and push your hips to the ground while you keep your chest nice and high. That's going to open up the hip flexors and stretch out your lower back as well. Once again, just kind of freeing up the pelvis area so that you have a little bit more range when you're on the bike. Keep your elbows locked out. Just breathe nice and easy. Just exhale down into that stretch. Nice and relaxed. 3, 2, and 1. Just gradually push your hips up to come out of it. And from here we're going to sink straight back onto the heels. Keep your hands stretched out in front and just try and put your chest lower than your hands, which obviously won't happen, but it helps you stretch out those lats. So just again, nice sink lower with the chest. Really feeling a stretch here. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to place the left hand on top of the right and go into that same position. Now you should feel much more of a stretch coming across the left. So if you can stretch out your lats and your shoulder blades, it just helps you get into a little bit more of an aggressive position on the bike and keep your shoulders nice and tucked. A lot of the time it's actually tight shoulders that stop you from getting a little bit narrower on the front end. Restrictions in the shoulder will make your head pop up like a big lollipop in the breeze, and that's not what you want for aerodynamics. So now we move, bringing the right across the left, and same again. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. So that's really going to help you just tuck in like this, because your lats and things in your upper back are really what sort of tie you up when you're trying to get into that really tight position. So you can see if I got tight lats, I'm not really going to be able to keep my head down, whereas if they're nice and smooth, bring that head down and really get it tucked in and out of the breeze. Right, we're going to sit on our bum with our knees at about 90 degrees, our hands just behind us supporting us, and from here we're just going to lift the hips to the sky and really squeeze with the glutes at the top and hold for 3, 2, 1, and down. So this is freeing up the shoulder joint and kind of giving a little bit more range and opening up the chest, but it's also engaging the glutes and helping them control the hip, which is exactly what you want for that sort of core stability when you're in a tight tuck position on the bike. So we're going to go again, lift, squeeze. You'll feel a little bit on the hamstring as well, that's no harm. Tie the hamstrings and glutes together so they're working together. 3, 2, 1, back down. Bring the hands farther back if you want to make it a little bit more challenging and really open up the chest a little bit more. Try and pull your shoulders towards the floor when you're at the top. So we'll go again. Shoulders down and back, hips nice and high. Squeezing the glutes together as hard as you can. 3, 2, 1. Big part of mobility is not only freeing up a joint but also stabilizing it. So when we do that, not only opening up the hip, but we're using the glutes to actually control the hip as well. That's exactly what we want, especially when we're trying to apply power through the pedals. We want to make sure that we're good and stable and that we don't rock too much side to side, because that's just loss of power, builds up fatigue, and it doesn't really do us any good. So we're going to stand up. This one now is my favorite for just getting the shoulders nice and loose so that you can tuck down into a really tight position on the bars. So you're going to make an elbow, hook it around the shoulder, hook the other elbow, and the forearm up behind. You're just simply going to straighten out that arm and pull it towards you, and you're going to feel a stretch across the back of the shoulder here. That's typically, if you're tighter in the back of the shoulder, that's usually where you're going to really feel it when you're trying to get in on the bike. So 3, nice and relaxed, 2, 1, and keep pulling and release gently. Shake it off. We go other side. Make the elbow over the shoulder, hand up the front, straighten out that elbow and gently pull towards you, feeling a stretch across here. Nice easy breathing. 3, 2, 1, and relax. So again, you can kind of feel that position, getting the elbows in tight. That's here you need to free up. That's here that we're trying to stretch so that we can bring those elbows together. If you're immobile, you'll find the elbows just won't kind of come in. You won't be able to get your head down. But when everything's nice and loose, get the head right down behind the hands and close off your front area. The other thing now is your head, your neck. We're trying to hold this position all day long. Neck's going to get pretty sore. There's a lot of tension on the back of the neck. So we're just going to do a little bit of a stretch in the neck, because when we're sitting at a desk all day like this, and we're sitting on the bike then like this, a lot of tension builds up. So simply all you're going to do is just stand nice and tall, nice tall chin. Just relax and let the shoulder or the ear, the right ear, come down to the right shoulder. Till you feel a little bit of stretch in the neck, and just relax and let the weight of your head let you work into that stretch. You don't need to pull against your head or anything like that. Just let the weight do the job. Nice, relaxed, easy breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Nice and easy out of that, and onto the other side. Let the weight do the job. Left ear to the left shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to let the head hang down in front. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Okay, now we're going to go into something I'll call monkey hips. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and grab the inside of our ankles, keeping our chest nice and tall. We're going to try and push our knees straight and our hips up. So from the front, it'll look like we're just rocking a little bit, and from the side, and down, grab the ankles, keep the back as flat as you can, sink the hips, keep the chest tall, and just push those knees back. Hips will drift up. Just go 10, 9, 8. Try and just progress, try and push a little harder each time. Nice and easy breathing, nice stretch, and come up out of that. So you should feel like you worked into this position a little bit. That's going to help for getting that sort of position now. You freed up here a little bit. So that's a great stretch for the time trial position. Right, we'll go into a little bit of a core activation here. Doing one of my favorite exercises, dead bugs. So we're simply going to lie back, lift our feet up, knees at 90, lift our head and shoulders off the floor, hands point directly to the ceiling, and we're simply going to drop our right arm, left leg. 1. And then opposite arm, opposite leg. 2. 3. Make sure to keep the small of your back pressed into the floor. You don't want to arch up. 8, 9, and 10. You should feel a nice bit of tension, nice little bit of activation across the core. Flip onto the front and do its older brother, the Superman, or some people go in bird dogs as well. A lot of names for the same thing. So from all fours, we're simply going to lift the right leg and the left arm and try and stay nice and straight. Glutes nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Opposite arm. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. You're just trying to squeeze a little bit at the top just for a few seconds to make sure those glutes are firing and you're working the body as a unit. Right, we'll move back to dead bugs. Now you can do a lot more sets of these if you want, but just for an activation session or pre-bike session, 2 sets is enough just to kind of get a little bit of activation and get things fired up the way you want them. So knees at 90, hands at the ceiling, and away we go. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Takes a little bit of coordination, but after a few goes, you'll be fine. Keep tension on the core. Keep the small of your back pressed down. Chest and shoulders up. Let's keep going for a few. 3, 2, 1. And come out of that nice and slow. Back onto our fronts. Relock into the floor. And then left arm, right leg. Hold. And then opposite arm, opposite leg. Hold. And then hold. and there. Now you can do as many reps really as you like. I'm just trying to do it just to get a little bit of heat into the body and make sure I can kind of feel those muscles switching on, because I'm about to go and do a bike session. So this really is just a fast, simple warm-up that you can do to get all the right muscles working and to get a little bit of range of motion into the right joints and get you prepared for the session. Right, that's it. That's our warm-up done. So you should feel when you stand up like you're a little bit freer in the hips, freer in the shoulder. And now if you want to get onto the bike, we get into a lovely position with the head nice and tucked, shoulders nice and close, and we've also got a little bit of heat in the body. So your warm-up on the bike is pretty much done, but you've also given yourself a little bit of mobility work, which you might not normally do. So if you do that before every session that you go on the bike, very quickly you find yourself having done 30-45 minutes in a week, and all of a sudden you're finding that your ranges of motion are better, you're getting into better position without having to sit and do an hour-long foam rolling and an hour-long mobility. You've mixed it into your warm-up and you've been time efficient. If you like this video and you found it beneficial and it's something you'd like to see more of, make sure to give it a like and leave a little comment down below. If there's anything you would like to see me cover, I'd be more than happy to have a look at it. Until next time, keep training and enjoy your session.